My name is Chris Hampson. I'm going to do my humble best to spread this message today in my own little way. And I'm honored to be a part of this irresistible call for every human being alive. The most viral message the world and internet has ever seen. And of course, as a disclaimer, this is not my message we're discussing, right? It's not us that created it. It's not this video we're talking about in that sense. But in this next few minutes, within this video, we will explore these ideas together and look at exactly where the core of this message came from, roughly where it's going, and how your entire world could and likely will change any moment. So, where are we going? What is this all about? Well, the truth is, actually, humanity's history has few turning points as large as this one we're talking about, the place you stand right now. Now, every generation says so, of course, but the following few sentences are going to prove it. Although, bear in mind, set awareness is merely step one of two. Action is the step with real weight, and thus the world moves. All we need to look at first is quickly a set of 9 turning points in humanity's history that are the most major, the biggest moments. There's only 9. Well, curious to hear, this is our quick regurgitation of this irresistible call and effervescently bubbling up message currently. You tell us. First on this list is the information revolution number 1. There's in fact 3 of them, of the 9 that supersede and in fact give birth and rise to these others in sort of, rippling waves. However, back to the list of 9, we've got first again this information revolution number 1, learning to write. Well, everything changed, and civilization itself was born. And one thing you might want to ask yourself is, how far have we really come in unleashing human potential when it comes to writing? And many of us who've maybe been paid to do a little bit of that have a lot to learn. Number 2 on our list, think about first the contributions that religious and spiritual traditions have made heavy, in fact, to humanity's thoughts and actions. Of course, major turning points in their own way, sort of all over the place. But notably, the separation of church and state was among these few key turning points in humanity's rise, our unchaining potential, our freedom. Now, number 3, Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, other ancient philosophers provided this, sort of various keystones in our systems of individual and collective education, advancement, governance, which are the foundations of everything that we think of today in our modern world as civilization, governance, science, whatever have you. Next, think about the Magna Carta. Major moment, right? Individual freedoms. No divine, godly humans, right? Around here, right? Now, next. Number 5 is actually number 2 in the information revolution. It's the printing press. Excuse me. Big deal, right? Big deal. Number 6. Age of Enlightenment. Pretty big deal. Major turning points. As big as it gets. Number 7, peace treaties of Westphalia. Number 8, American Constitution. And number 9, finishing our list off, is of course information revolution number 3, which in truth began with things like the radio and television technologies, but now the internet technology is obviously paramount in this sense, with information revolution number 3. And think about that information element of it, and we'll come back to that in a second. But, when and what is next? And what are we talking about here? Well, we're going to get to the heart of this in a second, but when and what's next? Well, for lack of a better term, let's use Magna Carta 2019, the core of which is uncensored, universal, and unstoppable. And what are we talking about? Well, those were the 9 biggest turning points and moments of true magnitude in human history. Obviously, the most important things to understand then, for all of us, for you, your loved ones, no matter who you are. Seriously. Well, why? Because, we all want to lead the best lives possible, of course, for ourselves, for our loved ones. And if, anything in your life can get better, then obviously, just like everyone else, we want to know how. Exactly. And right now, what we're seeing is a new capacity in the human race for something more. The next step. This third information revolution has unleashed, like we say, not just information, but also our creation and our collaboration capacities. This is birthing, in its early stages, as an example of these things, a new human voice. Hashtag world voice. Again, just a signpost, folks, humble. Humanity rising in relative unity around principles that liberate. That's world voice. Around principles that dissolve crime, corruption, tyranny, oppression. Excuse me. But this is world voice. This is the definition. This is what it is. Humanity rising, defeating SOPA and PIPA, creating Wikipedia. The internet routing around censorship and treating it like the malfunction it is. Doug Gilmour's famous quote. Great. That's world voice. It's increasing in its capacities. Don't you see it? Don't you feel it? You're a part of it. This is an irresistible call. We've all been feeling it. We've all been hearing it. We've all been seeing it and participating in it. To an extent. But it's about to get real, folks. It's about to get very real. Now we come to the heart of this irresistible call. The most communicated message the internet and world has ever seen. It's a story, really. A dream. But like all good ones, you've heard it before, you know it. Even though it's new, it's in all of us, bubbling up. You tell me. Think of the race to the moon and understand we are now together in this moment, bearing witness and participating in the birth of the greatest dream humanity has ever had. Way bigger. A dream way bigger than going to the moon. And this time, every person participates and benefits in this exponentially larger scope of influence on our lives as well as benefit. Brothers and sisters, please think about it. Just one or two quick things here. We're going to finish up. Think about free speech for a second. It isn't a thing, right? It's a process, right? It's a mechanism, in fact, right? We've got 5 bullets here. I'll put them up on the screen maybe towards the end, but I want you to think about these things. 5 quick bullets as these mechanisms. 1 sentence. Freedom as a process. A mechanism with inherent responsibility and sacrifice. Free speech as the mechanism that creates all freedoms and protects, rather. Speaking truth, or we might say radical honesty, or transparency, synonymously are the mechanisms to virtue and best outcome. No? Pursuit of self-knowledge as the mechanism for living, the one daily goal. Be better today than yesterday. And finally, internet freedoms as the mechanism for humanity's third information revolution to yield its new fruits of collaboration, creation, and information freed. Think for a moment. What do these words mean to you? Freedom. And how about that responsibility? By the way, that bullet point list, if you like that, that's at the core of what we call our modus operandi, here at Incite, a project with my partner and I, helping in our own small way with these big global endeavors. So if you're curious and you want, the Modus video is super. It's a great model. It's a model for education, education, inspiration, and creation, as well as organization, for profit and not. These are new models that incorporate as a part of it, for example, collaborative institution, which is defined as the way that SOP is changing at the hands of this third information revolution. Okay, that's collaborative institution. There's also other parts too. Components to that were, specific within the modus. Fascinating stuff. A lifetime's work for my partner and I, consolidating thus far. A bunch of cool ideas into a neat model there. Of course, we have a book and other cool things you can check out, other channels you can check out, but that's enough about that. So this dream, bigger than going to the moon, world voice. It is a Magna Carta moment, folks. And we can drill into the details. But the essence and the basics are already there. We can understand it. We can feel it. Things are going to get better if we work hard. How long is it going to take? What exact shape? Well, first of all, World Voice is about to wake up. When World Voice wakes up, this is the irresistible call. This is what's happening. As World Voice becomes conscious, we will become more powerful than anything we've ever been, anything we've ever done. We're going to be able to dream, build, create, fix, replace, enhance, tweak. No baby in that bathwater, but let's do it, out with it. You know what I mean. Listen, we're going to do big things in a minute. And the first of which is liberating our information sector in some sense. Politics, downstream of culture, I think so, right? Education, all these sorts of things. Yeah. What's happening? Well, listen. We've got the information sector, we've got the economic sector, we've got security, we've got technology, we've got initiatives, platforms, movements, organizations for profit, not collaborative institution at play, which is, of course, really networks. Like Bill Ottman said on Tucker Carlson, the solutions of tomorrow are sort of more networks than individual nodes, per se, which we would just consider ourselves a part of. So again, in our own humble way, this is not just ours. We see these big things happening everywhere. We're participating in our own way, and we're very, very excited to share with you today this irresistible call, a dream. We're hearing this story. We're hearing this dream. We're giving it our own words. We're spreading it. If you like it, then you can use your mouth, your hands, and your wallet to help. You know what to do. If you like this video, check out our video on the news industry and a horn heard around the world. Cool stuff. Another video to check out will be on the information sector, as we discussed, and a great set of initiatives and ideas busy in that area. Another one would be the advertising industry and video. We've got another one for there. Check that one out. Modus, we mentioned. Organizational stuff, for profit, for not. Economic sector. Whoa, marketplace. Agora. Whoa. Check that one out. Holy moly. And as ever, support us on Patreon. We don't do any advertising. And we don't have any sponsors at this stage. And so any and all support is just via our Patreon, PayPal donations. You can buy the book in paper by me if you'd like. Get a free copy download in the description below this video as well. Thank you for having a look at that. Yeah, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. 600 plus references, 300 plus quotes in those. A great book. Huge. On a good deal of the spectrum of human experience, from religion to economy again. Take a look at that. I'll see you out there next time, folks.